Alright guys, I have time for one more video, so I'll answer 3 more of the questions that I received. The 3 questions that I'm going to talk about are over there on the right side of your screen. The first question is gems. I had a couple comments of like, obviously this guy must be spending a lot because he has so many gems, right? 135,000, that's a lot of gems, isn't it? Not really. You just have to know how to get gems. You can tell by VIP 13 and first purchase and all that I really don't spend money on this. So my gems come from, well, a couple different sources, and I'll talk about that. The next question I am going to cover is how to level up generals. And the last one is how to level up your Monarch. So let's get started right away with our first question. How do you get so many gems? Well, if you compare me to people that spend a lot of money, I don't get that many gems. I save it up so it looks like I have a lot, but really gems are hard to come by, and they are a resource that is very important to have, and there are so many applications for gems, but they're not easy to obtain. So yes, I have 135,000, but most of it I get just from participating in different things that are going on in the game. So for example, one of the what I did is I split it up. If you look at your screen on the questions and all that section, I split up into different things. So actively, there's a few things that I do to get gems. When there's no major event going on with resource gathering and bosses or Vikings or anything like that, then I might just send some troops over to mine some gems, because then I don't have to log on very much, because between events I really don't play a whole lot. I just send my troops out and that's about it. Daily activity, what I mean by that is every day I make sure that I complete as much as possible of my daily activity, and in doing so, if you can get to the 145 chests, you get gems here. And yeah, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but over time, no, there's no other gems. Over time, it adds up. It's just one of the ways you can obtain gems. It's not a big one, definitely. But there are some other ways. Also, Wheel of Fortune. If you are doing Hydras in your alliance, or you're just getting a lot of spins, then when you do massive amounts of Wheel of Fortune, I think last time I had like 1 million or 2 that I had stockpiled. When you just go through tons and tons of those, you can get a lot of gems really, really quickly. So yeah, like you can get gems pretty quickly here. I mean, I got 10 there, and not a whole lot so far. But you can get 500s or 1,000, and even these 50s and 100s that pop up here and there. They add up when you have hundreds of thousands of spins. So just make sure that you do that, and you will get a few gems out of that. What else? Those are all minor ones. So those are actively trying to get gems. And as you can see, the active portion doesn't really account for a whole lot. Passively, what I do is I also try to compete in Monarch competitions. So for example, server Monarch competition, I make sure that every day I try to complete all of these, because, okay, yeah, the stage ranking, you can get 20,000, 60,000, whatever it is, if you can manage that, which, that's a hard thing to do. But even the day-to-day ones, if you just complete, whoops, I don't mean to get in the top 10. Can I actually check out the individual things? No, not looking like it. So, for example, like the kill event, stage ranking. Why is it not showing me? Because we're in that server one. That's annoying. All right. Well, normally, if you are completing the daily events and, resource gathering, boss killing, that sort of thing, just by completing those and reaching that score, then you will get these mails that give you... I think it's too far down here, but you'll get like 800, 900 gems or so. Stage ranking, look, this one, oh, I got 29, I only got 100. But it's also for completing the score rewards. That's the first one. Here's a third one, so 800 gems. So every day you could potentially gain 800 gems just from doing the stuff that you're supposed to do for the event. So that means after 10 days, there's another 8,000 gems. Let's see. What else can I tell you about? You probably know these things. Okay, now we're getting to some of the bigger incomes for gems. And this is where most of my gems actually come from. So, first off, crazy eggs. When an event is going on, if you are killing monsters and killing bosses like you should be, then you will have the option to use hammers to break crazy eggs. So I typically do it in the morning and then a few hours later and a few hours later. And especially this fourth egg here, or I guess that's a second, it's the biggest one. You get, I can't click. Oh yeah, I can. Every time you hit the hammer on it and you break it, you're likely to get 1,000 gems. And then if you can activate all 4, then you get another 2,000 gems. So typically I get about 5,000 gems every day from crazy eggs just when events are going on. So, that's pretty significant. What else? All right, the next thing I have is World Boss. So once a week on the weekend, the World Boss comes around. It should be active right now. I'm not going to do it because I'll need to buff up and everything and march size, and I'm just not ready for that right now. But you have an alternating World Boss that appears on your map, and if you are able to, if you're pretty strong, you have really good general and good troops, send one single type of unit and one single tier. So what I mean is, like right now, I might send a full march of tier 13 cavalry with my cavalry gen, or if you can do tier 14, then just send one tier. And that will increase your score, and you can get up to the maximum amounts of gems every time. And I don't know, what is that, 900? 800, and you can hit 5 times, and then you can actually purchase chances. So if you are doing that max score, then I usually purchase another 4 times so that I can increase my gem count. And it goes down, right? Because you spend 200 and then you get 800 back, so that's 600 extra, and then the next time is 400 extra and all that. But you also get gold as well, so that increases your gold supply. So that's another way to get gems. There's also the undead invasion that happens. The undead invasion, why do I keep saying that in a weird way? Undead invasion happens every weekend as well. And your score, if you can get a high score, then you can get a lot of gems. And even if you just, participate in your alliance does well, then you'll get gems there too. And the last couple that I want to talk about, because they're also very important, is Battle of Gaugamela and Constantinople. So these are great for increasing your gem supply. What you will get when you participate in these, I don't know if it'll actually show up here. Battle of Gaugamela. Let's see if there's a tooltip in here that I can look at. No, it doesn't really show that I can see, but you get rewards at the end depending on your score. So you'll get gems, you'll get speed ups, you'll get all these chests. I don't think I have any extra because I usually, I do, look at that. So you get resource chests, speed ups, gold, gems, and when you open them up, you can get any of those. So just like opening up this last one, which I logged in late and I was in there for just like a couple minutes, I still got 4 chests. And for just being on for a little bit, look at all the gems that I got just from participating in Gaugamela. And by participating, I mean logging in and being there for 2 minutes. So bunch of gems there. And then one other way that I make gems is in the battlefield shop. And this is a really bad idea for people that are still needing to work on their dragons and stuff, which is pretty much everybody. But you can spend any excess badges and dragon stones, whatever they're called, to purchase gems. And I usually value gems more than anything else in here. Like even some people buy the generals and stuff, but the randomness of those general tokens is just so high. Since I don't spend money on this, I would just rather have a bigger supply of gems so that I can get generals in other ways, and there's a lot better uses. So I will typically go in here and I'll refresh just once so that I can maybe get something with badges, or here. So I'll just go through and every day I'll do the 3 free refreshes and try to get some gems. And that, I think that nets me like 15,000 gold or gems every day just on average. And of course I spend gems too, right? I put my bubble up, of course. I'm offering every day, and I am spending gems on certain things. So even though I make so much, I do spend. But over the course of time, if you are not overspending and you're not wasting your gems on useless things, and you're thinking really well and spending like a miser, like I wrote over there, then you can accumulate a good supply. I even see like some of my friends that are smaller than I, that are like 10, 20 million power. They can accumulate a couple 100,000 gems just in a month or two by participating in events and doing things. As long as you're not going out of your way to spend gems, you will accumulate them. And if you do accumulate them, you can use them on things like obtaining generals effectively, or doing mass refines, or research, or whatever you need to do. You'll be able to do it more effectively if you have a supply of gems. So consider how you want to spend your gems and do it the right way rather than impulse buying all the way through. Okay, and the last topics I want to talk about, I mean, that was a really big one, so this video is probably going to be longer. It's already 11 minutes that I can see there. So I don't want to go too much into these other ones, but they are important. Leveling up generals is what we're going to start off. I color-coded it here. So I will talk about how to level up your generals. The first way, and you notice that they're color-coded red here, experience books and attacking bosses. So I'll talk about experience books first. So just by doing normal Evony things, you will gather experience books. And I typically will use my experience books on people like Queen Jindiok, because I don't attack a whole lot with my queens. But the problem is it's very, very slow. So even after months of not using any of these general experience books, and I've accumulated a lot, she's level 28. Do I really expect her to go up? She might go up a level, maybe. I've accumulated a lot. Look at that. Yeah, she's gone up to level 29. But months just to get one level on one general, that's pretty darn slow. There are better ways. Attacking bosses is one way to level up general. So for example, my Baybars, where are you here? I have 6 different Baybars. And if you want to know how to obtain those generals, then I do have a video on how to get generals. The sound quality is pretty terrible, but I'm going to record a new one in the future anyway. Baybars is level 34, and his experience is capped right now because I'm only Monarch 34 for, I don't know, probably another week or so. But his experience has almost 95% been achieved just by attacking bosses. It's a slow, arduous process. It takes a lot of time, and a lot of bosses need to be killed to gain that experience. But I'll give you another pro tip here. Subordinate cities, you can assign some generals, and when you attack bosses with your subordinate cities, so that's when you're soloing bosses, they do gain experience as well. So if you have any low ones that you want to level up, throw them on sub-cities and go around and teleport around and kill some bosses. You can definitely do that. However, how else? You can just join rallies. So for example, there's a bunch right here that are going on, and I have some presets for some of my lower Baybars that need some experience. They're still valuable generals, so I'll just throw them in here. Let me just get this one too. I'm not going to get them all. Let's see. Okay, so those are 2 ways that you can get experience, and those are pretty passive. They're just, by doing what you normally do. And they're color-coded red because they're slow. There's another way, one step up, quite a bit faster, but also quite a bit more dangerous, is to attack NPC subordinate cities. So if you look around on the map, you will see subordinate cities that are owned by players, such as here's one, although that's somebody that is probably completely inactive. And that was a green quality one. I think there's a purple quality one somewhere around here that just popped up the other day, right here. When those are NPCs, and by NPC I mean a non-player character, so I'm looking for one that is not owned by a player, just as a model. These are all players. There's got to be one somewhere. Where are you? There's a million of them. Why can't I find it right now when I'm recording a video? Let's see. Here's one. NPC subordinate city, and it's a green quality one. If I attack that, there are going to be troops there. I could attack that, but when I do that, it will also drop me out a bubble. So you should only do that when you are safe. And some servers have server naps or something like that, and that might be a good use of your time. Ours does not. We don't have any server naps on here. So if you are small and you're on a server like mine, this is a dangerous tactic, but you can actually send troops again and again, repeatedly attack this and drop it, or just attack it with all your subordinate cities capped, maxed, and then you won't conquer it. And just by killing the NPC troops, you will gain experience from killing troops. It's kind of like attacking a player, but they can't really attack you back. So that's one way. It's pretty fast, but also kind of dangerous. Attacking players is probably the most effective way to level up a general. So if you are attacking player with your attacking general and the generals on your subs, then all those will gain tremendous amounts of experience. Also, that is dangerous, right? You're attacking players, so you're at risk of being attacked or losing the attack, and that can be very costly. My favorite way, and finally at the end, is Battle of Gaugamela and Constantinople. So those ones you can participate in, and like I talked about before, crazy gems, crazy resources you can get from just doing well, but also by mounting a great defense or reinforcing people or those kind of things. Just by participating in the battle, you can very safely level up your generals, and then everything is replenished right when you leave the battle. So all your lost troops, they're all back. Even when you're completely wiped out, if somebody zeroes you and you have no troops left, well, you can actually just train like one troop and send it to reinforce somebody. So I'll maybe send my Queen Jindiok with one troop or 500 troops or something like that to go sit in somebody else's city. And then when they get attacked, all that experience that was there, I share in. So I can level up from, if I sent my Queen Jindiok at another to reinforce another player with one troop, and there's 40 million of experience for my general that is achieved there. I can go from level 28 to like level 31 in one go, and it's very, very quick. That is the best way that I know that you can safely level your general. Okay, the last question. This is a long video, just about 20 minutes. I'll try to cut it off real quick. The last question, that I want to talk about is leveling up Monarch experience. That is a tough one, and it's a tough one because it's there's very few options. I'm getting very close to the maximum, which is level 35, and pretty much all of the Monarch experience I have earned is just from killing bosses. That's it. You can't, I don't believe you get Monarch experience from attacking players or in Gaugamela or anything like that, but hitting bosses, hitting monsters, those are the ways you can gain Monarch experience. So I've color labeled it again, the ways that I know you can achieve experience for leveling up your Monarch. The worst way is with experience books, and I say worst way just because it's the slowest. These little books along the way that you get, they increase it so slow, especially at the higher levels. You just don't get enough. I can have saved up for months and months and months, and then I will unload it all and I'll go up 1%. It's awful. The better way, slightly better, is by killing bosses and monsters. Like I said, you get experience in doing that. So if you look at a report here, let me go take a look. So for example, the level 3 golem we just killed, 3,500 Monarch experience. Those ones are lower level, even though they're harder, so they're not that great. But something like a Kamai Taichi, I don't even know how to say that, gives me slightly more, 4,500. So you do get experience along the way just by killing bosses, and you get speed ups and all that as well. So it's great. But the most important, finally, the most important thing that you can do is to have a high-level shrine. So mine's 35, but 32 and above is pretty sufficient. And the trick to leveling up your Monarch experience as quickly as possible is to get a lot of your Alliance Science done. Like, keep that up, and that way you build up Alliance points. So you can build up Alliance points through this and also by participating in battles and everything. And with those Alliance points, you go to the Alliance shop and purchase tributes. The only thing I ever buy in the Alliance shop is tribute. Don't be fooled by all the discounts that you get from the game. Tributes are the only thing in here that are important to get. So buy lots and lots of tributes. Then you go over here and offer, and I do this maybe once a month. When I get to about 100, 200 tributes, I will do my offering up to where it starts increasing by 1,500. So you can see it's 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, and then boom, goes to 1.5. So right here is where I would stop, and I would offer gems all the way up to there. So typically it will cost you about 10,000 gems every month. Drop that 10,000, and then from that point forward, you will get the maximum amount of prestige and Monarch experience just from unloading 100 or 200 tributes or whatever you've accumulated. And even at this like level 34 Monarch experience, 200 tributes will probably take me up about 20%. So it's pretty significant over the course of time. And those are the ways that you can achieve Monarch experience in this game. Hopefully, I know it's a long video. They were pretty big questions though. Hopefully this is informative to you, and if you do like this content, then please share or like it, so that more people can get this information. All right, thank you.